There we go. We're live. It's Wednesday, 1 o'clock, January 14th. It's James speaking, tradingsites.io. Another live stream. Do them every Wednesday. Again, unstructured live Q&A by myself here in my little home office, working on Ecamm Live software, Stream Deck, a couple other little tools, an Insta360 webcam. That's about it. And we're doing live stream. So if you haven't been these before, thank you very much for joining. Let me know in the chat where you're from, what your name is, what you're working on, and we can talk about it. There's all sorts of cool stuff happening in the AI space for anyone who's starting, building, growing an education business. So we can certainly spend some time talking about that. Just let me know what you want to cover. Again, I actually just finished a video a couple of minutes ago. I haven't posted it yet, actually. There's just the A/B test before I click next. So we're playing around with that, just testing things out. That's how cool it is. We've got all of this stuff happening quickly. The big one yesterday, technically it was on Monday. Today's Wednesday. Monday, Claude announced Claude Cowork, which is one that I thought from the previous stuff that I saw was going to be Claude Task Manager, but they've got it called Claude Cowork. That one's out and available, and this is basically agents for dummies. This allows anyone just to say, here is a task that I wanted completed. This is how I want it completed. And then it goes off and does it. So it's natural language agent instructions to our digital employees, which is kind of cool. So that one's there. I just did a video. Actually, this video, I just did it about 25 minutes ago. This one is all about how to prompt, or why you have to prompt differently with agents. So make sure to watch that one after. So what do we got here? Who's on? Say hello. What's going on? Who's here? Let me see if there, that's better. I'm in the middle there. Yeah, so who's here? What's going on? No chats, let me know. Love to help out. I got anything to do with AI. We can talk about the business models. We can talk about tools. We can talk about what's happening to courses, all of that cool stuff, always available. And I would love to have questions as opposed to me ranting and just doing demos and stuff like that. So come on, tell me, what do we got here? Who's working on what? I'm just going to move my camera a little bit for this one. There we go. Can't get that one to work. There. Oh, perfect. Maybe we'll try that one. And we're in. Yeah, so this is a really cool time in the AI space. Claude Cowork is the one that I think all of us have to get our head around. I've been talking about agents for the past 6 months. Agents are here. They're here right now, and these are ones that basically allow us to hand off stuff, and it just gets done. We can work and play around on Claude if you want to. That would be fine. So if you haven't seen it, actually what I'll do is I'll open it up just so that you can see it and what's happening here. And this is Claude. This is actually, now a couple things with Claude Cowork. This just came out like 24, 48 hours ago. And there's a couple things that you have to know up front about it. You need a max plan right now. So they're just rolling it out from the more expensive ones down. I went and upgraded yesterday. So if you look on the screen here where it says in the bottom max plan, I think in the States it's about $100 US, and you get 5 times the amount of usage that you do compared to the pro level. And if I look up on the top here, you can see that Cowork is available. So there's Cowork right there, completely different interface. This is the one where we can actually start using agents to do stuff, not only on our machine, because this has access to everything on your computer, but also with the browser. So Claude Cowork allows you to basically do stuff on all your data. Just think of your YouTube transcripts and all of the PDFs, research, everything that you've done. It has access to it, as well as it has the Claude Chrome extension, so that anything that you would need your agent to do directly in your browser, it can do that. All you've got to think about are what are the agents that you want to create, what are the tasks that you want to hand off, and go from there. And this basically just runs and does all of it. So this is a really cool thing just to be aware of. It's coming quickly, and get ready, because all of the other players, I think, will have something like this come out shortly because of it. So who we got here? Who's on? Tell me who's on. We'd love to. There we go. Let's try that a little bit better. Is there no one here? We got 7 people on. I need some questions. We need some questions here. Do you want to do demos? Anything to do with courses, which I think are cooked and fried? Either that or we can talk about the business model. So just wondering why I have no chats here, which is kind of sad. Let me look in the other place here. Normally we get some questions, but I'm not getting any today. Maybe I used the wrong title on it. Not quite sure. And we'll go from there. Okay. Yeah, so actually what I will do is I will talk about courses because there was a whole bunch of stuff that happened last week about some of the people who were traditionally large or well-known course creators who did either quarterly or uh, 3 times a year would maybe do a large launch where they would sell a course, promote, and sell a course. And a number of them have basically said that they're going to stop doing courses. And again, these are people who have been well regarded and who have done a lot of work in the course space, and they're basically quitting that entire business model. So I think this is a huge problem. I've been saying it for a while. I don't think courses have any value anymore. The question becomes, what is it that's actually going to replace them? Now, I personally believe that it is a privately branded campus or your own AI learning community. And that's what I've been teaching people how to do, specifically because I think it's the only place where you can build your own brand around the content that you have, the processes that you have, and the AI tools that you actually use to accomplish specific tasks. So that's kind of what I think is replacing it. I've got trainingsites.io is the one that I use. I'll just bring it up here. And these are the ones that I actually build for people who want to start, build, and grow an education business. So these ones here, we can go through if you want to. Let me know. Um, if there's problems with the comments, if you're commenting and I'm not seeing it, give me a thumbs up and let me know. Because right now it shows that there's no comments for me, which is kind of weird because normally there are lots of comments. So um, in the chat, let me know in the chat what's going on. The whole idea of a privately branded community, this is fun. This is a fundamental change in terms that we educate people. And I think, if you're a teacher, someone in the education space who has traditionally looked at courses, whether they be live courses where they're actually taught, in traditional education, and or people who have sold courses as a monetize their information, and they've been in the digital marketing space or whatever space to actually teach a hard or soft skill. These ones are all at risk, and the reason being is that content is free now, so it doesn't really matter. You don't have any proprietary content anymore. Um, what you do have that's proprietary are learning experiences. And the fact that you can have people join together or talk to each other or be involved with a mentor or a guide is the word that I use. Sometimes you'll hear me use the word cohort, but it's a group of people with a shared interest looking to complete a shared transformation. And whatever that happens to be that you offer, I think that you need to have your own space to do that. And that's why I've been building out these communities. And in terms of positioning, I'll go over the mind map here that we did. This is actually the mind map that I just did for the video that I finished about 20 minutes ago. So we'll see if I can find the good one that's there, and we'll pull that one up so they can actually get that. There's a whole bunch of different ones here. Let me do file open, and I'll do a local file. This is Xmind. If you're not familiar with it, this is the one that I use on a regular basis. And this one is a great one, I think personally, for, there we go, just going to do that one. This is kind of the one that I think is interesting for anyone who's in the education space. And I put together actually a checklist for people who are just learning how to do this kind of stuff. But here's the big picture. This is what I've been doing. This is what I've seen other people who I follow and or have been doing course businesses for probably close to 2 decades now, what you're going to see is there's going to be a lot of people who are moving to what is called a community or building out a community. And I look at the word community as just a platform that is your own platform that you can deliver content. And there's two types of content. One is the traditional static content, which are things like video tutorials and PDFs and anything that has to do with audio, video, or text. I'm saying build out your community as fast as you can. And in it, what you should be doing is creating your own community library. And that library happens for a couple reasons. One is that all of the AI tools that are now available, whether it be a chatbot or agents like Claude, Cowork, can pull your content and repurpose them the way that each individual needs to see them when they need to see it. So having a static course or an evergreen course is of no value anymore. Being able to provide from your library of content in a particular topic is where the value is. The thing is, you got to have a platform or place to keep it. So I'm talking about build your community and start building out your library that is in your community. And I'm saying give access to it to people for free. Give everyone access to it. Give it away, get rid of it. But just make sure it is about your particular topic. And when it comes to figuring out your topic, I'm not talking about a niche. I'm talking up a level from a niche. I don't think that niching is valuable anymore. I think topicking is available, is what you should be focusing on. One of the things, again, we can talk on about as well is a topical authority map. This will give you 7,500 questions to answer about a particular topic. And if you can uh, frame your community library around answering those questions, you'll be able to have a thriving community that grows over time because it is a place where people can find out about your particular interest and hopefully theirs, and they don't have to search around for it because most of the questions I have are hopefully answered within it. So I'm saying jam all your content in, make it available as quickly as you can. And if you don't have content, the part that you need to do is really right here. This one is like start a YouTube channel, create a YouTube channel as fast as you can. And it's not necessarily for the likes or the subscribes. That is not the important part. The important part is the transcripts and the videos. Because the more content that you have, like there's a couple of videos that I've seen over the last little while that have been talking about, don't create content or only create content that is valuable content or high value content. I disagree with that. I think that you should create as much content about your topic to the best of your ability with your opinion to it, but I think you should create as much as you can, as fast as you can. And I'm of the firm belief that it should be one off, zero edit, live like I've been doing. And the reason is because I want the transcripts. I want the transcripts and the collection of information that the YouTube videos have. This does a whole bunch of really cool things because we can use AI tools, for example, like Notebook LM, that create infographics or create a slide deck or create a PDF or create an explainer video or create a podcast for us, but based on our content. So this is the kind of thing that I don't think people recognize. It's not for the video necessarily. It's for the content that the video contains, whether that be an actual video now. Google, for example, can analyze a video. If we just go to Google Gemini and say, analyze this video, it knows the visual part of the video, the auditory part of the video, and it also knows the text. So it's multimodal analysis of it. Those videos are valuable content for someone who's interested in your particular topic. So if you're afraid to start a YouTube channel, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're afraid of YouTube. It's one of those ones where there's a lot of people, unfortunately, are afraid. I'm suggesting if you have to, do them as live streams and don't make them public, make them unlisted. You still have the content from them. So Videos. Do them as fast as possible. Get them going, get them created. It's not as hard as you think. And in many cases, when you're doing it, again, this is something to wrap your head around. Again, it depends on your market. If you're doing rocket science, there's a certain level of expertise or professionalism that is required as opposed to something else. But I'm looking as much as possible to do zero edit videos, but just do them. And if you don't have the equipment, you can start with a smartphone. If you don't have the software, you can go and use something like Riverside.fm or StreamYard, which only takes, I think, $15 or $20 a month. You can do live streams and you record stuff. But just get used to yourself in the camera, and again, do as many as you can. I know for me personally, if I go look at my YouTube channel, and I'll just pull this up. I don't know how many, we'll do this one here. Yeah. So on Vimeo, I think I have 600 or 700 videos. If I look now, and I look at the channel here, I think I've got, 621 videos now on here. All of these have transcripts. All of these have audio. All of these are videos. They're all available for me to repurpose. And I think the part that most people miss when they're talking about videos and YouTube is that if you get your campus set up correctly with a couple of the tools that I talk about in the training sites one, is it will automatically post to social media. It will automatically post to your WordPress site as a tutorial. It will automatically post to email as an announcement. That happens in the background. So you're not creating any social media posts. You're not having to create emails that are out. None of that stuff is required. It can be offloaded to AI or automated to agents, and it gets done so that you're not focusing on it. Your focus is on educational information and, of course, making offers on the next pieces of the puzzle, which I think are, again, I've been struggling with this one in terms of the word, but whether you call it a cohort, which is structured, or mentorship, but this is the part I think this is really cool where you as a teacher or an educator, we now have the ability to actually do live interaction with people in the form of some kind of classroom, and basically talking and teaching people and answering questions. Um, it's not the static course, it's us helping people implement stuff. So, and this is where you get paid in here. So the more you can schedule sessions to work one-on-one and or in groups, whether they be small groups or large groups, depending on how you structure yourself, you're able to actually do that. So let me look at some questions. I'm finally getting some questions. Wonderful. Let me just I'm going to see if we can make this a bit smaller and then put it in. Yeah, sometimes I have trouble with this one, but we'll work on it. Okay, so the question is here, first one, effective journeys. Courses that focus on content delivery. What about courses that teach skills that are hard to explain, like how to build, create something with video demos? Um, this is an interesting question, and I've done a couple videos on this. And the reason that I say that there's trouble for traditional education, I'll give you a real simple example of this one right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, and if you haven't been here before, we'll open up labs.google labs.google/experiments. Now, uh, I'm in Canada right now, so I don't know where you are. Sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes these are available, sometimes they're not. But this is a place, obviously, where Google experiments with all the cool things that you're doing. Now, this is the one that answers your question specifically about showing things that require a video, and or things that might be more technical than just doing some content. Now, I don't know about, teach skills and are hard to explain, like how to build, create something with video demos. Okay, so a couple things. Here's the first one. One of the things is that they do have right now, this one right here up and down, which is called Google Disco. Okay, now this one is interesting because what it does is this one, I'm on the wait list for it. So what it does is this one will allow you to take, or a user, your student, to take a tab or existing tabs, and it will create applications and videos on the fly based on the questions that the user asks and the tabs that are open across the top. So if you want to see the video on this one, just click it where it says learn more. This is going to come up. I'm on the wait list here, so I don't have it, but oh, we got to wait. It's gone wrong. Let's see if we can get it to go. There we go. So they have a YouTube video on this one. This is the cool part to just take a look at it here, is that if you have some tabs open across the top, they use an example here of a map. However, if you play this, watch what happens at some of the examples. The last one is an educational one. So it opens up tabs, gives options, it has them all available, and goes through it. Now here's the part that gets interesting. Oh, we can't see it there. It's not going to let me fast forward. Let me do here when it's a little bit longer. Here's one here. Here's a better example that they have. And again, you can go and watch these ones. This is the Gen Tabs one. So turn your tabs into custom apps. So there's an example where we now have an interactive application built on the fly based on the questions that are personal to the person that is visiting. So that's just one example of how content is now the mini apps. They're bringing all the different things from Google into the browser. So we've got mini apps, VO3, the workflows, any of the content, Notebook LM, all of these things are being integrated. That's an example. It's building apps on the fly. So that one is on, I'm on the wait list. That one's going to be kind of interesting to see how it happens. And again, labs.google/disco is where you can go and see the demos on this one. They've got some other ones, you know, solar system to show. The examples they used were mini apps, but I would suggest that what's happening as well is VO3 is there to create videos. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's something we're going to see sooner rather than later, and it's just based on the tabs that are open. Now, one of the things that's kind of interesting is that I talked about this in another video. One of the things you might want to consider on this is that if you have the tabs, let's move this up. If you have the tabs that you want students to look at that the apps are created from, you could actually create was a learning experience or a course where you say, this is the tab or group of tabs that I want you to start with. Oh, look at that. I have an Insta360 webcam, and when I brought my hand up, it actually changed the zoom level. So, okay, we'll see what happens with that one. Yeah, so you could have a tab or tabs and say, you know, lesson one or step one of a process. Go and use Disco and have that actually happen, which would be kind of cool. I'm going to have to turn this off because it's actually doing the stuff that's there. Um, Mind mapping. Let me do, so hopefully that helps. That's just one that's there. You know, I obviously don't know how fast this is going to come out. I'm just showing that the maps are there. They're thinking about it. The mini apps are there. Doesn't really matter. The other one, and this is in AI Studio. Actually, I will show you this one as well. And I wonder how I can turn off that one with the reset. So let me just open this one here. If we go to aistudio.google.com, and in this one, if we're in the playground here, we can do live. So these ones here allow you basically, I don't have my key set up. So I can actually use my camera here with this one. See in the bottom right? I can use my camera, and when I use my camera, I can show myself or a student actually doing something, whether it's playing a sport and or learning how to do carpentry or play the piano. If someone is doing that live on the video, you can interact with the video directly within AI Studio. So that means that if someone has hands placed incorrectly, or they're playing a sport like pickleball and they're in the court or on the court in the wrong space, or any kind of opportunity where there's a visual interaction that normally would be done in a video, this is going to be something to actually be done live and in real time. And if I'm not mistaken, you can upload the video and chat about the video that's there. This is multimodal and has access to it. So that might be an idea just to kind of think of or know that this is coming and or available for it. Car repair scams. Point me to your mind map of tools because they change so often. I want a daily organized tool for the product service in my own mind map. Okay, I think I understand that question correctly. Um, there's a couple places for mind maps that I use on a regular basis. And again, I want to daily organize tools per their product service in my own mind map. So here's the tools that I use. We'll go over those. And if it's not the correct answer, hopefully either let me know or how that works. I use a tool called xmind.net, which is an application that I downloaded and used. And this has a free version. They've kind of got into project management. I don't know why, but we'll just do accept all here. You can download this for your Mac or your PC. And what that allows you to do is to create mind maps like this. And in my particular case, these are just straightforward mind maps. I use these as a way to personally organize my content, and there's obviously some neat stuff that you can do here, and format them the way that is appropriate to you. Let me see if I can get this a little bit bigger here. No, it won't do it. So I can go and fix, different styles of maps that I want to have, whether it be tree maps or timelines, logic charts, that kind of thing. They're all available for being able to do that. And I use these for a couple reasons. One is because when I'm doing videos like this, I use them as my talking points. That's the first thing. The second thing is when you have a mind map, you can also export them as something called Markdown. Now, Markdown is really important for AI tools like Gemini, like Claude, like ChatGPT, because they understand Markdown. And you can upload or provide Markdown to these AI tools to explain the context or the processes that you're doing, and it's able to understand it quickly as opposed to outputting a PDF. So anytime that you have Markdown, you can give it to the AI tools. The other thing is you can be an AI tool and ask it to output the ideas as Markdown, and you can open them in a map, which allows you to do things. And the way I do it personally is whenever I have an idea, I try and create a map so that I see it visually. The one that I like is this one here, which is sorry, I think this one is called a tree map that they do. And that's just one that I can follow in a particular step and go through. So that's the one way of using maps. That one's called xmind.net. There's a whole bunch of them that are available. Some are softwares as a service. I just was using this one a long time. So that's kind of the one that I've always been focused on. So that's one way to look at mind maps. The other thing you can do with mind maps is if you're using Notebook LM, and I'll just open up one of these now. Again, notebooklm.google.com. And if I'm looking at my notebooks, anytime that you're in Notebook LM, there's a whole bunch of outputs that are available in the studio. So if I go take a look at, there's one. AI and the collapse, of course. Let me do one that's got a little more in terms of information. This one has 3 sources. I'm just looking one for, got more sources, so it helps a little bit more. Here we go. This is one that I did on AI in education, application strategies in business. So if you haven't seen this before, I recommend obviously that you do it. And I have a whole bunch of videos on it that are in trainingsites.io, but you can output a mind map here directly. So if you have a whole bunch of sources that you're trying to keep track of and work with, whether they be customer ones or educational content or projects, You can add all of your sources and or research sources if you don't have them. Put them here. You can prompt with Gemini in the middle, have a chat. And one of the other ones you can do is just create a mind map from it. And it will create a mind map with it, and it organizes all of your sources and also references them. So this is a kind of a neat way to open up and have your mind map and be able to see what pieces are connected here to which piece. So if you click it, it brings up and you can actually discuss and work on it. So those are the kind of two mind maps that I use. Hopefully that's kind of uh, what you were talking about. If not, you need clarification, please let me know. So uh, London, UK. Okay, perfect. I don't know if you have, I'm not sure if you have all of the pieces yet. The other one to watch in this is there's also data tables right now, which is cool. The infographics are there, the reports, the explainer videos, and the podcasts. But the data tables are one that are really neat and one that I've actually been playing with videos. And this is a good example of videos from the previous question. Let me go back to another notebook here. So here's one that I did for, where's the one source? Just gonna see if I can, see if the one, seeing if I can find one here. I had one. Just trying to remember when it was done. Let's sort them by most recent. Just trying to, was it this one actually that I did? No, I did one with a whole bunch of YouTube videos as the sources. And basically I used data tables to do searches on the content of the YouTube videos. So it was able to look for trends, do an analysis of the YouTube videos, and you can use that with data tables. Let me see, these are kind of old ones. Hopefully I can find it. I'll go back maybe and we'll see if we can actually go and do those ones. January 6th, when was a little one? Trying to find the other one. Sorry, I can't find it right now. I wish I could. Hopefully that helps a little bit. So I enjoy Notebook LM. So Sheena, yeah, I'm joining from Indiana in the USA. Hey, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Notebook LM, again, one to really focus on. I do have two videos that are interesting. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure to go to trainingsites.io. And these are the ones that are print. This one right here, which is the Notebook LM hack, stop adding videos. Do that one if you get a chance. That was the one about data tables that were there. And this other one is dynamic notebooks, about how you can use one document in Google Drive and just keep on adding one document. The example I used is being able to keep track of your ideas and then just do prompts based on the one document, which is kind of neat. And then the other thing that I have is in some of the courses in trainingsites.io, there's another 3 or 4, which is the one on that one. Yeah, there's another 3 or 4 videos as well here about Notebook LM. And again, these are all free for you. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, but also go to trainingsites.io/join to join the community and the campus. So those ones are in. And I will tell you, when we're looking at this right now, sorry, there's the course. It's in courses. One of the things I'm personally having trouble with is, I said this replaces courses, and some people say, well, why do you have courses as a menu? Part of the problem is that the software that I'm using, which is Fluent Community, has this word hard coded in it. So I wouldn't call these as they're more like processes or skills that need explanations as opposed to a course for content. And I do have all of the YouTube videos are available as tutorials with additional content in them as well. Sorry. So um, these aren't really courses. I can't change the word yet. Hopefully they'll be able to do that. So here's another question. We'll just do this one again. Keep the questions coming. I appreciate this. Anything is fair game here. If I don't know, I'll actually do it. So here's a question here. Notebook LM, the data you uploaded, how comprehensive, structured, and consistent does the data need to be for you to get good output? Mind maps, infographics, and reports. And that's an interesting question because when you are using Notebook LM, and we'll open one up with, I wish I can't remember the one. Where's the one that I wanted? I really wanted one because I had a good one in place there, which is really, really unfortunate. Actually, what we can do is if you want to, there's the 9th. Those aren't in order. I guess they're in order of when I open them. Okay. Okay, I'll just open this one. When you actually open and you're playing around with Notebook LM, this is Gemini in the middle. That's Gemini in the middle. When you have sources on the left-hand side, for me personally, I have a paid account at Google, so I can add 300 separate sources here, and it's something like 1,000,000 tokens, which is like, I think like 100,000 pages of content. So you put a lot of stuff in there. When you're using this middle section here, which is Gemini 3, it only answers based on this information. So whether you're creating a mind map or an audio or a video explainer, it doesn't search the internet for additional answers. It doesn't go look at its training. It only infers or tries to figure out the best way to answer it based on the content that you've provided to it. Now, it might be your own content, but remember, you can always just do a search here for, so if I just do Claude Cowork and I do a fast research, for example, or I search the web for it, which is this one here, and I'm going to click this one. It may add some additional sources that are external because I've asked it to go to the web and find out about Claude Cowork, which just came out 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago. So here's some of the ones that just came out and 7 more sources. And we'll go and look at these ones. I've added them in. They're there. Okay, so I'm going to import them. So now when I do any of the prompts here, it's going to work on these particular videos that are here and the content of them and the documents that were there. So the question you're asking is, how comprehensive do you have to be? Well, the more data it has to work on, different answers you're going to get here or different things it's going to be pulling out of the data. But this is grounded completely only on the sources that you provide. So if you provide crappy sources, you get crappy answers. And then you kind of got to figure out, okay, if I'm going to do that and I'm going to create a notebook, that's when you kind of have to decide what's the purpose of the notebook. Is it to organize a project or a course? Do I have something for a customer? Am I doing something as a keeping an archive of content for a part of my business? So you just really have to understand what the purpose of the notebook is, and then figure out what the content is appropriate to be able to generate the responses that you want in the studio. So the question is kind of, on the fly, but it's based on what you do. But it is grounded. It is grounded only on the sources that you provide here. And those sources can be uploaded files, websites, the drive, or copied text. And when you do uploaded files, again, it can be from any of the documents that you have on your computer and or stuff that is in your Google Drive, which is outside of it. So hopefully that helps a little bit. What else we got for questions? Who else is learning stuff about Notebook LM or Cowork? Has anyone got agents, or has anyone thought about agents? Does anyone know what they are? Is anyone creating educational content? What problems are you running into? Are you looking for a place to store all this data? Are you trying to figure out how to earn money with it? What are the things that are troubling you right now? What is the stuff that you're actually working on? What are the things that you want to find out are some options for yourself? I'll do my best either to answer them based on my immersement, me spending every day working in the AI stuff. Maybe we can share some stuff that you figured out before. I'm just here to help moving this stuff forward. So great. Thank you very much, Effective Journeys. I appreciate that. What else we got? Any other questions here? Nothing? Nothing today? I wonder if this is, I wonder if this is interesting. So just for me, let me just go. There we go. Here's something interesting. And again, this is all about YouTube. So I'm going to pull this one up right here because I'm learning about YouTube as fast as I can. And one of the things, again, who give me a thumbs up if you have a YouTube channel. Let me know if you do. That would be great. Again, remember the reason that I'm trying to do YouTube is for the content, not necessarily for the streams or the views, which are great anyway for another reason. Um, Actually, the second reason is well, I'll show you. I'll show you. Open this one up right now. So let me do. Some of them do well. Some of them are awful. They do really, really bad. So here's one that I did yesterday about Claude Cowork that came out with Cowork. So here's the interesting thing on this when we're doing it. So the hardest part that I found personally is getting a title that will get people to notice it when it's in that grid. So the title and the thumbnail text is part that I really, really struggle with because it really controls who actually clicks and at least kind of gets engaged with it. So that part I'm just learning about. I try stuff different all the time. And in this case, you know, the one that we just did, I said this replaces courses was the title of the live stream. Maybe that wasn't one that got more people than if I'd used something else. So that's kind of the first thing. And I did say that I don't focus, my focus isn't on necessarily the likes. The other thing, other than the content and the purpose of YouTube, in my opinion, is to get people to join your free community. So if you do a lot of YouTube videos, not only do you get a lot of content from it to repurpose, but you have far more opportunities to get someone to at least get into one video. And you'll notice, and this is what I recommend that's worked really well for me, is at the start of every video, the part here where my mouse is moving, the part that is above the fold, if you want to call it that, is join the community free. So all of the YouTube videos is for the content and get people to join the community free. Because once they're in your community, you have their email address. They're engaged in your ecosystem. It's not a traditional lead page or a freebie. It's none of that stuff. It's no ads. It's not separate social media to go to a download to something to try and upsell or a low ticket offer. It's none of that stuff. It's just get people into the community. So everything I do on YouTube is all about getting people into the community. For example, like and subscribe to the community below. It's free for everyone to join. And that's all that I do in the videos. I don't do any other marketing than that. And I think in the last year, we've added 7,000 or 8,000 people to the community and even more than that to the email list. So those are ones just by doing YouTube videos, no money on ads, no outbound generated social media, nothing like that. It's only been generated by YouTube and doing videos. So that's kind of the neat thing that's there just to kind of think of is do your videos, practice and play around with the titles and the thumbnails. I'm incredibly lazy when I do this. Oh, sorry, I wasn't showing it. Down in the bottom here where it says trainingsites.io, hopefully I was showing it. I am incredibly lazy when I do these. I have a set template that I use and some text on it. I can whip them up pretty quickly, get them out there, see how they work, and test them. Titles and thumbnails, just practice and see what uses. Some work really well, as I said. Other ones are an absolute awful one. And all it takes is one or two videos to really go through the roof. And when they do, you're going to get a lot of people that kind of join. So, you know, you go from 10,000 people 5 days ago to 480 people in one. So, you know, they go all over the place, but if you get them, they work really, really well. And you find out the topics that are of interest and the way that you message the topics that are of interest to, and that controls what your community looks like and the questions that you answer in your topic. So, um, let me do this. So other question here, car repair scams. Sometimes the notebook uses words not effective for the video. How do you change the script? That's a great question. And there is some things that you can do on the videos, and we'll go back to another one. So let's go back to Another notebook here. So here's agent skills again. Whenever you are making a video and you're in the studio, there's a couple things that you can do. One is that when you're in the chat here, if you click it, you can do the conversational style. So is it the default, a learning guide, or custom? If you create custom, you can put special instructions in, and that determines how the conversation goes with Gemini in the middle. You can also set, how long the responses are in Gemini. Now remember, if you have a whole bunch of sources here, as an example, and you do a chat, one of the things you can do is ask it some questions, go back and forth. It's going to process the materials, go through and look at, and what you can do is you can save notes or this as notes. You also see that there's references to it, right? It cites where it's coming from. If I click this, it's going to show me where in the actual documents that we had were the ones that where it came from. The other thing I can do is I can always save this response as a note. So if I save it as a note, it goes over on the right-hand side. And when I'm on the right-hand side, I can always go and convert to a source. Convert all notes to sources, or I can export it. So if I want to, and I get some chat that's here that has to do with the video that I want to create or the way that I want to explain it, the first thing is to create your notes, save them, and then convert them to a source. So it's now over here. So get your settings set first in the chat so that it works the way that you want. The next thing is when you go to create a video, don't just click the button, hit the pencil. And when you hit the pencil, it allows you to play around a little bit with the style of what you want it to do. And then here, the visual styles are available, but also what should be focused on. So I don't know how long the actual prompt is, but go and ask Gemini, just say, I want it to explain. I have all of this reference material in Notebook LM, all of my sources. I'm going to ask for it to create an explainer video, create a prompt for me that would force the video to cover these 5 things, or use this particular style, or only use these words. So provide some guardrails for it, and it'll be able to do it, and then it will go and generate it. So there's a couple ways to do it. They're not perfect. It's actually going through and figuring stuff out, but it does have a pretty good idea of what you want if you've created the notes, added to the notes, and you give it some instructions here. So hopefully that helps a little bit on that part. And that's Notebook LM. The other thing to do is if you're really investigating or playing around with stuff, one of the other things you might want to consider is if I go to docs.google.com, and I've showed this in a video like 6 months ago, but if you type in videos after docs.google.com, what you can do is Google Vids will actually create videos for you as well, right? So I did one up. This one here was one. Basically what you do is you start a new video and it will ask you kind of, is it a portrait, whatever. VO3, does it get created? Use media from Drive, Photos, or your computer. So you can actually provide it with a document or a sheet or something like that, and it will actually go and it will create the video for you. An example of one that I did, let me just close this one, is I did one on pickleball. There was pickleball for beginners. And let me just see if I can get this to go. It will actually go, and let me just go and play it.
In this video, we'll provide you with a quick guide to pickleball, including its basics, rules, and some fundamental techniques.
It's played on a smaller court with a perforated plastic ball and solid-faced paddles.
So that's just an example. If you need to create videos as well, that's another way that you can actually go and do that. And that's docs.google.com videos. The one that's just new since I did that is the one where you can actually do your portrait ones if you're going to be doing recording yourself or actually doing stuff for VO for social media. I didn't know those ones. Haven't done that in a while. Square, of course, for some of the other social media platforms, but you might be able to do that quickly if you just want to whip some up. So that one's kind of cool. What else we got for questions? How long are we going here? 50 minutes. More questions, AI questions, course questions, community campus questions, setup, earning money. What else we got here? Who else is on the call? Let me know if there's anyone else on the call that has a question. No question is too small, no one is too big. If I have no idea what you're talking about, I'll let you know and we can go and actually search for stuff. Normally, what I do in any of these is when I get stuck or I don't know how to do stuff, and especially prompting, is I basically ask one of the tools to create the prompt for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think, in my opinion, is to be able to cheat with prompting. It's interesting. Prompting is kind of interesting. Give me a thumbs up if you've actually prompting is important or you've spent a lot of time prompting. Let me know. Give me a thumb up because I think prompting is broken with agents, and that's what the video that I just did that I'm going to post in a couple minutes. There's a huge, huge problem with prompting. So anything that we do with agents, and specifically Claude Cowork, which came out on Monday, which is a agent or allows anyone to basically just say, "Here's a task that I want done," and it actually goes and does the task. Part of the problem is that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to request tasks done just by like they were prompting a chat box, right? And that doesn't work. You get stuff doesn't get done and it won't even start doing or finish doing it. And even if it does, it's not even close to what you wanted. So we're going to have to learn a new way of actually prompting. And that was what I covered in the video that I'll basically publish in the next couple minutes after we get off here. So it's all about being very, very, very specific and having agent briefs or skill packages that we have to create that will allow you to give the agents instructions that they're going to follow. And that's one of the things here, when I was talking about courses, one of the things that I've been doing is I've been selling my, we'll do this one, I think it'd be here, more custom GPTs. I have a whole bunch of skills packages. Yeah, so I've basically been creating skills packages, which are like agent briefs. And this is a way, for example, to go and this one here is an example of one to find a profitable topic. So I can give some instructions to my agent that's actually going to go out, follow a series of steps that I have in this agent brief, and it will go out and get it. So you can't go and just say, go and find a profitable topic. You have to give it a set of instructions like an employee to be able to do that. So this is a whole different way of looking at it. And if you're used to prompting and getting a response, prompt response, you're going to have to relearn how to do all of that stuff moving forward, which is kind of unfortunate, but I think there's going to be a way to stand out if you can figure out the processes that you not only need to use, but want to teach to people and provide them with these agent briefs. That's going to be something that's going to be kind of cool. So yeah, so here's another one too. Uh, I use Copilot and Gemini to enhance my prompts. Yeah, absolutely. I don't use Copilot, so I'm not overly familiar with it. If I'm not mistaken, it's still powered by ChatGPT and OpenAI. Uh, I've heard good things about it as well. I will most frequently play off each of the AI tools against each other, obviously, if I have time. So I will ask one AI tool that I'm creating something in another AI tool, and I want it to create a prompt that I can use in the other AI tool. So often I'll use one like Copilot and just say, hey, I'm going to be creating a prompt for Gemini, and this is what the prompt is about. This is the context. This is what I want out of the prompt. Create a prompt for me to use. I'll take that prompt, I'll bring it over to Gemini, and I'll say, Copilot created this prompt to give you to get this task. Can you improve it? Or did I miss something? And then when you're in Gemini or vice versa, you basically play them off on each other and get it to do it. And I usually ask, I don't just take the prompt from one, give it to the other. I'll take the prompt, I'll bring it to the other and say, hey, what do you think? Can you improve it? Did I miss something? Is there another way of doing it? What else should I consider? And then I'll use the prompt because I've got a foundation to kind of work on. So yeah, that's a great cheat for doing traditional prompting. And when I say prompting is broken, it's broken for agents. It's broken for agents. So the whole idea of agents is being very, very specific on what you want. If you're doing chat, it's conversational and context related. So you're providing an environment or information and then asking for a response. When you're doing something with an agent, it needs everything buttoned down to a T so that it doesn't guess and it knows what you want done and what kind of process. And I think, the thing with, I'll open this up now so you can see it, but if I'm looking here at Claude Cowork and I ask something here, I don't know if I can do this one. I just got this yesterday, so I'm playing around with it. Here's one that I did. Here's one that I did earlier, which I basically asked for it. Let's see if I can get this a little bigger here. There we go. So basically what this one started off with is I wanted to send a 7 email offer to my community member to upgrade their account. I want you to schedule them 1 day apart. And then it says, I can help you, but it started asking, like, is it an upgrade or an offer? What interval do you want between each email? And then it did all these. And what it does is it creates a to-do list. Now, these are all the things that the agent knows that it has to do to actually go through. And if you look in the upper right-hand corner, it lets you know where it is in the to-do list, provides any of the outputs, and it lets you know what files it used and what connectors it used to do things. And this is the reason that I did the video today, because I gave it an absolutely crappy prompt to get started, just to play around with it. And the example, that I was just kind of doing in the video, maybe I'll show the document here so that you can actually see it. Let me pull this one up here. We'll open up the document that I had. There we go. Sorry. We'll do docs again. This is the one that I just did. But if you're doing stuff with agents, which is going to be huge this year, one of the things is if I give it instructions, what I should have done is I should have said which list I want the agent to use. Was it new leads, everyone? Which template? I have 12 templates in my CRM, different kinds of templates to use in email. Is it the default one? Is it the one that has the logo at the top and a call to action at the bottom? Is it a blank one? So I got to tell it which one. Do I have tags that I need to apply in my CRM? What's the call to action that I'm using in this one? What is it? What links am I using? Am I telling people to go to the YouTube channel? Am I telling them to go to a sales page? Where do they go? What subject line am I using for a strategy? Is it a curiosity one? Is it benefit? Is it urgency? What is it? Who's it? Who's sending it? Who's the to and from? When is it going to be sent? So if you don't have this, it's going to either ask you questions consistently, which isn't really an agent, or more importantly, if it only has part of them, it guesses. And that's one of the things that I found out right away is that when you're using these things like Claude Cowork and agents, you have to be super specific about it and or have a list of agent skills or agent briefs that you can provide the agent to use when it needs it in the process. So this is going to be an absolute, kind of shift in how everyone is prompting moving forward. What else we got here? I got 58 minutes. I usually do an hour. Sometimes I do 2 hours if we get carried away. Is there more questions? Anything else you want to see? Is anyone familiar with Cowork? Have you read about it? What other tools is everyone using? What kind of stuff is going on here? So if there's no more questions, I usually stop. By the way, all of these things are available after. I do put them in the community here in the feed and actually get it to put them in. So what I do is I normally wait for the transcript and then I'll repurpose the transcript in a whole bunch of different ways, whether that be an email that goes out, posts here on the community, social media posts, it gets sent out automatically. but that's why I'm creating it. It's automatic. And I want to show you one thing. There is a thing in Claude called MCP, which is Model Context Protocol. The big kind of deal on this is these are tools that agents can use to get their work done. Some of the tools might be talking to another piece of software. In my example, I have an MCP tool for my Fluent community. And one of the ones that I was playing with yesterday was, let me just pull these ones up. I had it go and make posts automatically to my community feed, but I did it automatically. I just asked Claude Cowork to use some content that I had on my hard drive about a particular topic. And then I said, go make some community posts. And I was specific about making sure at the end of them that they did have a particular question that was hopefully to get some engagement. Now, I didn't do this well because they're too long. They needed to be shorter, and perhaps there's some other things that I can add. I was learning from it. Point is, I was able to hand this off, posting or create engaging posts on my community by getting the agent to do it. And it looked through the data. It looked through my documents. It looked through the previous posts. It looked through the YouTube videos that were there where I have transcripts, not only on the website, but on my hard drive. It's creating the content based on that. So this is kind of cool stuff that's happening faster than most people realize. I'm not a coder. This is stuff that you can start doing now with a tool like Cowork. And I'm, I'm convinced that over the next 60 to 90 days, we're going to see like so much more stuff that comes out that automates the tasks that we normally do. If you can get a handle on this now, I'm looking at it, I'm just saying, how can I set this up? I want an education space where I can talk about starting, building, growing education base. What are all of the tasks and or skills that are required in an education business? I know the ones that I like are doing some research and doing YouTube videos. Everything else I wish was done for me. So I want to ask you, if you are going to have an education business and you want to teach something to someone, what is the stuff that you like to do and that you're good at, or at least want to get better at, and you want to spend your time, energy, and effort at? What is that? And then what is the other stuff that you know still needs to get done if it's a business? And then try and figure out, start ticking off the pieces or processes that you don't want to do, that you can start creating these agent briefs that you can tell the agents to just go and do them. And if you can just get a handle on a couple of these, just imagine, if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to start a course, I'm going to have this great course, I'm going to do 12 lessons, I'm going to have a mastery program, I'm going to go and spend ads on Facebook or LinkedIn, or I'm going to do free offers, and I'm going to do free webinars, and hopefully people will sign up. Or I'm going to have a low ticket offer for $47, and hopefully I'll be able to get them to upgrade. If you're doing that and you're putting all of these pieces together, or you just said, hey, I'm going to create content and I want to automate all of these other things and have it done for me. If you do just a couple of those, you're going to be so much farther ahead than anyone else. And this is true whether you're in the internet marketing / digital marketing space, and even if you're in the traditional education space, because your ability to create these learning experiences with things like Google Disco that builds apps on the fly, or using things like Opals, which create mini apps that you can create with your students or the people that you're doing, and just focus on the AI part of it, the AI tools, and helping people use the AI tools, and then doing all of that other stuff, having it done for you. This, I think, is a real opportunity. Give me a thumbs up if you like that. What else we got here? Is there anyone else that's got some questions? If there's no more questions, it's 2:04. I will bring it in for landing if I don't get anything more. I do these every week. I try and do Wednesday, I do them every week at 1 o'clock. Obviously, you're welcome to join. I'm going to change the title on this one next one because we didn't get as many people or as many questions as I normally get. So, learning experience there. But what I do is I try and create a video a day, and they'll all be in trainingsites.io if you haven't joined. /join, it's there. Someone else just came on. Any more last questions? Going once, going twice, swing and a miss? Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll be back again next week. Had a blast. Here to help. See you inside the community. Take care. Expect the best.